Alright, this is going to be a video on a number of things, but basically this Twitter, because this is basically about whether or not I will use it. Basically, I think it will be more or less tomorrow morning in the AM hours, I will be able to get back on Twitter and post stuff if they don't fuck me by then. Because I know some of you have seen my Twitter page, or you look at my Twitter page if you follow my work at all. Last video I thought was a decent one. It's only got 4 views, but whatever. Um, but anyway, whether or not I will use it, it basically depends upon what I decide to do. I'm basically, at first, I'm just going to explain to everyone where I've been and why it's wrong that I got kicked off and I didn't do anything wrong, and that it wasn't political. It wasn't anything that could be possibly classified as speech, violence, or anything else. The thing I got kicked off for was I said a fictional character in a TV show was not to blame for the quality of the television show. That's it. And I'm going to also explain, because I don't know the guy did this or that his followers did this, and I don't know what happened. And there was something else that was weird that happened that I'm not going into detail about, but I might talk about later. But anyways, I do know this. As far as Raid Keller goes, and that's two different things. But the point is, as far as Raid Keller goes, I will say this about Raid Keller: he is a public figure, not a politician, but he's a public figure. He has a podcast. He claims at least to be an expert, and I'm not even going to debate that. But he has a podcast, and he makes money off it. He should be open to public critique and condemnation, in opinion. And I gave him a very mild critique. And of course, in any Twitter comment, you can only talk about so much. So the primary point of the comment was that you can't blame Roman Reigns for the show not being good. So it was a mild critique. But anyways, I also want to explain to you people why you should care about me to some extent. And I'm not going to talk about child genital mutilation or circumcision. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about veganism or animal slaughter. I'm not going to talk about even police brutality. Because, look, or even LGBTQ issues. Because at this point, I think you either get it on a lot of that or you don't get it. Look, you can look it up. You understand things. If you decide you don't care about gay issues, if you don't care about whether or not a cop could stop a person and shoot them for the hell of it, if you don't care, then you don't care. Same thing for children genital mutilation. It killed 119 children last year or whatever it was. Same thing for animal slaughter and the treatment of these animals in their slaughterhouses and so on and so forth. And for example, and I will say this about even the treatment, again, the horrible treatment of people that were prisoners of war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and the American treatment of them, and us doing things to them that we executed the Japanese for when they did half of that to us in World War II. You executed Japanese people, brave soldiers defending their country in many cases in Japan after bombing them and destroying their countries and leaving nothing but rubble and dead corpses behind. You executed their soldiers, and it's probably the same for some of the Germans. And you did this why? Because they tortured our boys. They tortured our citizens. In the case of the Japanese, and also in some of the Germans' cases, that was the reason. So then I say, why do we do that to them? And that was horrible and wrong. But I tell you what, if you think they're a human being that is more important than a dog or a cat that you keep in cages and you keep in dog pounds across the country that are treated horribly and kept in enclosed conditions and are often executed, then I tell you what, hug a dog. Hug a terrorist before you go to bed. Don't hug your dog. Hug a terrorist, or anyone else for that matter. A white supremacist. Hug him and then tell him to lay at the foot of your bed tonight, and you'll get my point a little bit better. Obviously, I don't think you can just say that human beings are more important than animals, and that includes even something like chickens that I've ate them recently, because I am a hypocritical asshole. And I think a lot of Americans are, and we have a problem with that. And we need a certain level of discipline in terms of having a value system, believing in it and sticking to it and not straying from it. And we're not always good at that. The Japanese people, such as the samurai and other people, they had values and they stuck to them. and some of them would even die for them. We're not good at that. But the point is, and I don't even remember the original point. Oh yeah, veganism. I'm not going to talk about veganism, although I did. But anyways, I'm not talking about any of that. Here are the things that are online in terms of their ability to shut me up and eventually you up because they don't like you. UBI, especially during this pandemic, and that was a big part of the what did they call it? Some bullshit. What was it? The stimulus money. I think Andrew Yang said possibly $1,000 a year. That I would say, and I would argue, and it probably should vary with what you make, in terms of other social safety net features or things, but basically $1,000 a year. It also, and also another thing that's on the line is a minimal wage for men and women of $15 an hour for poor people who work shit jobs that you make $15 an hour for your hard work. I think, I don't know if it was Switzerland or where it was, Sweden or somewhere, they're raising it to $23 an hour. And I don't totally support that because I do believe greed is not good, even when it's poor people. You know, you have to be reasonable. And I don't know if that's sustainable, but certainly $15 an hour I support, more than possibly a little bit more than $15 an hour. And that's what's on the line here. Rescuing millions of people that, as far as I know, are probably still on the line for rent payments and due rent, trying to help them. Releasing nonviolent drug offenders, especially people in prison for marijuana. Legalization of marijuana, that while she's currently on the ticket that I support, Kamala Harris laughed at as late as 2014. That's on here, and she will be your vice president, and I think she should be open to critique. And again, if I can't even get someone like Ray Keller, who's an idiot that thinks wrestling is real, goddamn it, do you really think I could critique her? What else is on the line? Medicaid, Medicare, universal health care, basically the same thing, very much similar to the program we have they have in Norway and places like that, or at the very least, in Scandinavia, or at the very least, Obamacare they have gotten rid of, and trying to at least bring back, I get this shit confused, but whatever system it was, single payer or whatever it was, in helping people, helping the homeless, trying to house them. Again, Christmas is coming up. You're going to have millions of people. And again, if this year so far is any indication of the things to come, I'm sure it'll be a cold winter. Where are you going to house these homeless people? Do we chip in all as a nation and use our tax dollars to help someone, or do you allow the current official? And I'm not going to say too much about Trump, but he was one of them. Are they going to spend another $1 billion in the goddamn military that we don't need to build more tanks that can rot in fucking Arizona or some other desert that we never use? Are we going to continue to put kids in cages? Where does this end? Or are we going to use that to rebuild our infrastructure in our society, educate our young people, give Social Security and health care and so forth to our old people and our sick people? Are we going to feed and clothe and house our poor people? Where does this end? That's what's on the line here, along with gay rights, children's rights, animal rights, black rights, women's rights in some cases, abortion rights, rights to human beings and to people and to transgender people and transgender rights and transgender people not to be persecuted by assholes like fat fuck Alex Jones and the rest of these pricks. Where does it end? Free speech for Alex Jones and for me and for all of you and for everyone else. Freedom to watch what we want on TV, like the Attitude Era and Jerry Springer and grunge music and Marilyn Manson, Eminem and gangster rap and what we want to watch. Freedom of speech to say what we want. Freedom of speech to have protest not interrupted by cops, so that peaceful people are not gassed, so that you can, so that our president, and again, I don't want to say too much about him, but so that he can pose with the Bible randomly. Freedom of religion for Jews, Christians, Muslims, and other people, and pagans, and atheists, and Buddhists, and all kinds of people, Satanists, whoever. Human freedom. Freedom for you, freedom for me, freedom. Protection of rights, protection of your health, protection of your security, protection of the poor, protection of the sick, to help human beings. Where do we end it? To extend our lives, to improve the quality of lives. That is what is on the line here. Not just my ability to get on YouTube, to get on Twitter and bitch. All of our freedom. So again, my Twitter page is Humanist Philosophies, and I need your fucking help. I need your help to build me up. I need your help to protect me, because I am here to build you up and protect you. Even though I don't like many of you, and I'm sure you don't like me, we need to make that treaty between you and me, because I need a fucking group of people. I need group support, and that's something I currently don't have almost to any point of any extent, online or in real life. And I need your support so that I can help you. And I can do that. And going forward, I can make a difference, and then perhaps you can make a difference for me. Let's help each other out. Let's stop fucking this bullshit where you have to be an asshole and you're a troll and you're cynical and you're a cunt and so am I, or a prick or whatever, and we all are. Let's give life one more. Let's do what I want to do now, and that is give life one more roundhouse punch. Punch these rich pricks the fuck out. Let's go and let's make this happen. Don't give your money to some fucking televangelist so you can go screw Thai girls or Thai lady boars in fucking Thailand. Don't give your money so that he can go and buy cocaine and snort it off someone's ass. Don't give your money to me. Don't give money to anyone. Just support me through your viewership and through listening to what I say. And don't think that every time I get pissed or every time I say I have an issue that decides and defines who I am, or that I'm always going to say the right thing. But listen to me as a human being, because I'm not perfect and neither are you. And we all deserve a chance, and we all deserve a chance to be listened to. And many of you don't want to give me that chance because I'm not educated, I'm rich, I'm not have the money, I'm not what you want me to be. I'm not good looking, I'm not smart in some cases, I'm crazy, and I got issues. That's my problem, and it's many of your problems. So don't judge me. But don't think you're going to get any further or get any further ahead than what you currently are by kissing these rich bastards' ass. Stop judging people by their dress code. Stop judging people by how they wear clothing, or by how they dress, or by the price tag on their clothing. Stop judging them by their fucking price tag on their house or what house they live in. Start judging people. Don't judge people how big their tits are. Don't judge people how big their dick are. Don't judge them by what car they drive in. Don't judge them by their religion. Judge them by what kind of human being they are, and by what they're saying, what they're trying to say to you and tell you. And so many of you do not do that, and not a damn one of you will share this or will help me in any way. And it's totally up to me to try to bring that message to people when the system is rigged, and Twitter has certainly made sure I know they're rigged, and it's against me. And it's hard to fight or claw or force my way out of this. And I have to rely on force of will and real power to try to claw through this. And I'm not sure I have it in me. I need help. And until then, I will be a paper tiger. And I should have named my damn video this, but I'm an idiot. But I'm going to be a paper tiger and a corpse that refuses to lay down. And I am, in many ways, I am the real Walking Dead, the undead. And it's not as romantic as the vampire, I can assure you. But I try, and I'm not giving up yet. P666.